Hi guys, welcome to the second round of videos. I wanted to show you a few options for deleting objects from your photos. So I'm moving away from my example image that's showing the project, and I'm now going to just use some random photos that I had to illustrate a few concepts. So let's say you come across an image online that you really like, but you want to get rid of one part of it and you want the image to still look realistic. There are a bunch of tools that you can use in Photoshop to do this, and I'm going to show you one of them in this video, and I'll go over others in following videos. So the one that I want to focus on today is Content Aware Fill. Content Aware Fill is really useful for simpler images, but once things get more complicated, you'll probably need one of the other editing tools. So to do Content Aware Fill, you first need to select the thing that you want to get rid of. So let's say that I wanted to show this brick wall, but I didn't want this poster to be here. Because this is a sort of rectilinear shape, I can select it either using the box rectangular marquee tool or the polygonal lasso tool if it's a bit more irregular. Now when I select it, I want to select a little bit of extra space around it, and if it has any shadows, I want to make sure I'm selecting those shadows as well, but this object is pretty flat. With the polygonal selection tool, you draw a box around the object by clicking at each vertex, and you know that you've completed your selection and that you've closed the box when you get back to where you started, and you see that tiny little circle appearing underneath your polygonal lasso tool. So look at, I don't have it here, but when I join back to where I started, suddenly I get that little circle telling me I've completed my shape. I click there, and now I see that I have an area selected. Once I've made my selection, I go up to Image, Edit, and Content Aware Fill is here, but you can see I can't click it. It's not an option. What that's telling me is I've pasted this image in, but I haven't rasterized it. So I'm going to go over to my layer where I see this image exists. I'm going to right-click on it, and for me on a Mac, that's 2 fingers on the trackpad. I'm scrolling down, and where it says Rasterize Layer, I'm going to select that. Now this image has been rasterized, it's fully embedded into the file, and it's recognizing it as a set of pixels, and now I can do more editing. So now when I go up to edit, I see that Content Aware Fill is an available option. I'm going to click on Content Aware Fill, and now I get this helpful menu here. It's telling me use the sampling brush tool to add to the sampling area in order to fill the selected region. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to come here to sampling area options. Now this is the area it's going to look at to determine how it wants to fill in the space you've deleted. So I'm actually going to go to Auto, and I want to see what it does if I let it automatically decide. You can see here that it's selecting the rest of the brick wall, so it already knows that this is a brick wall area that it's going to fill in. And for the most part, it's done a decent job trying to fill in more brick pattern. But you can see the pattern's a little bit off. So I'm going to try to fix this up by adjusting the sampling area, because if I look over here, it's showing me what it's using to sample to determine what fills the space left behind. And I see it's actually picking up some of this water fountain. So with my sampling brush tool, I can change what it's looking at as the sampling area. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make sure I'm subtracting. I can change the size of the brush tool, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to come in here and paint so it's no longer looking at this as a reference. So I want it to just look at the brick wall. Let's see if that changes this at all and makes it a little bit better fit. It's thinking, it's thinking. Okay, it's a little bit better, but my pattern's still off, so I wonder if I subtract more of this and have it really focus on the area around it if it'll be a little bit smarter about how to fill it in. Well, you can see as it's processing, it's cleaning up a little bit. So we're making some progress. Normally you want to add to the sampling area in order for it to read the image better, but in this case subtracting is actually helping. Any place that there's anything other than tile, I want to take out of my sampling area. I want it only to be looking at the tile to understand what that pattern is and fill it in for me. It's a smart tool, but you have to help it be smart by giving it as much information as possible. Notice over here in my preview, it's getting better and better as I really refine the area that it needs to be looking at. Since these tiles up top are slightly more irregular, I wonder if I take those out and allow for more regular patterning to kind of replace the area. Now let's see if I add to it by doing the plus sign, and I come over here to where some of this nice brick pattern is, and I allow that to be sampled. That's actually working a little bit better, and I'll show you in the next video how we can fine tune that even more. I'm going to say OK for now, and I'm going to show you one slightly more simpler piece. So let's try taking out this right here. So I'm going to come with my selection tool. I'm going to use now the lasso tool. I don't want to use the magnetic lasso tool because I actually want to get more of the wall around this shape instead of just the shape itself. So I want to have a little extra room as I'm making my selection. Make sure that shadow gets taken out and I can see my selection's complete. Now I'm going to go to Edit, Content Aware Fill. Okay, now it's registering. And that actually did a really nice job just with automatically registering what's in that area. I may clean it up a little bit because there's a light spot on this wall that suddenly stops. And without an object there, that doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to register that that light spot would actually continue cleanly through. So let's see if I come in and I take out some of this extra information, if it's smart enough to realize how the shadow should move along this wall. You can see that actually is getting a little bit cleaner and making a little bit more sense. Okay, so I'm going to stop there again, and in the next video I'm going to show you some more refined tools. So this is using auto sampling area and adjusting. I recommend doing that as you're starting to experiment with the content aware fill. In the next video I'm going to show you how to clean up some of the things left behind by the content aware fill option using other editing tools. Since I am happy with the content aware fill that happened here and it's on a separate layer, what I want to do is now merge that so that becomes a permanent part of this image. So make sure you're happy with it, and now I'm going to shift to select both of those layers. I'm right clicking and I'm going to say merge layers. So now it's all in the same image, and I'm not worried about which part of this I'm editing and working on. So now it's all in the same image, and I can move forward editing this from here.